folks, let's continue with trying to add fractions where the denominators aren't common. So the first thing we have to do is figure out what the LCD is for this fraction. So I'm going to break down 4 and 14 right now. And so if I break down 4, and I'll just kind of put this off to the side here, right? So if I break down, and let me make sure you can see it. If I break down 4, right, that's going to be 2 squared. And if I break down 14, that's going to be 2 times 7. Okay, so keeping that in mind, let me start to build my LCD. And I'm just going to kind of put a little separation here, right? So if I want to build my LCD, all right, I see a 2 squared here and a 2 here. I need the higher of the 2 powers, so I'm going to need a 2 squared. I see a 7 here, nothing here, right? 7 to the 1, this is essentially 7 to the 0. So I'm going to do 7 here. And if I look at the x squared term here and the x term here, I need to take the term with the higher power, so I'll put the x squared. And then I've got y and y cubed, so I'm going to put y cubed here. So if I do a little mental math, if I think about this, this is going to be 2 squared, which is 4. 4 times 7 is 28. So my LCD is 28 x squared y cubed. And then what we want to do is we want to multiply each of these fractions by the special version of 1 that they need to get their denominators equivalent to the least common denominator. So let me rewrite this first fraction, 5 over 4x squared y. And let's see what I need to multiply by. So if I look at this denominator, to get 4 to become 28, I need at least 7. All right, x squared to become x squared, I don't need anything. Y to become y cubed, I need a y squared. So I need to multiply the denominator by 7y squared. And to balance that out, I'm going to multiply numerator by 7y squared, because when you multiply anything by 1, you don't actually change it. 1 is the multiplicative identity. So then let's figure out what we need to multiply this second fraction by to get its denominator to also look like the least common denominator. So let's see, I'm going to put plus, and we had 3 over 14xy cubed. All right, what do I need to multiply by? Okay, to get 14 to become 28, I'm going to need a 2. To get x to x squared, I'm going to need an x. And y cubed to y cubed, I don't need anything. So I just need a 2x here. And if I need a 2x in the denominator, I will balance that with a 2x in the numerator. Because again, if you're multiplying by 1, which you are essentially, 2x over 2x is 1, you're not changing the problem. So once you find the LCD, you essentially multiply each fraction by whatever they're missing in their denominators to get to the LCD. All right, then it's PEMDAS. I'm going to do this product first, this product. All right, I'm going to do the multiplication first, and then I'm going to add. So when you multiply fractions, you multiply numerators, multiply denominators. So 5 times 7y squared is 35y squared. We know our common denominator of 28x squared y cubed. All right, 3 times 2x is 6x, and we have our common denominator of 28x squared y cubed. So at this point, because I have two fractions whose denominators are common, I'm going to keep that common denominator. Oops, I forgot the x's. Let me get that in there. So I've got 28x squared y cubed, and in my numerator, I'm going to have 35y squared plus 6x. Totally valid answer. If you've listened to any of my other videos, you hear me, I tend to just write things in alphabetical order, so I'm just going to rewrite this. You do not have to, but it is the same answer. So I like to write letters in order, so I'll put 6x plus 35y, plus 35y squared, right? And addition's commutative. A plus b is the same as b plus a. It doesn't matter what the order is. Or if you're hearing me, like 1 plus 2 is the same as 2 plus 1. Right? They're commutative. Order doesn't matter. All right, I'm going to erase this because we didn't actually have a 1 plus 2 and a 2 plus 1 in here. But either of these are completely valid answers. There's nothing that I can actually factor out, right? 6 and 35 don't have anything in common, and x and y squared don't have anything in common. So I am done with example 8. Thanks so much. Bye.